tonight. Reaction after yesterday's healthcare funding agreement in principle between the federal and provincial governments. Family doctors and others have some suggestions. Also, what are the dollars, cents, and needs of a new potential downtown arena in Regina? Plus, legendary singer-songwriter from Saskatoon, Joni Mitchell, is honored with the Library of Congress Gershwin Prize.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Thursday, March 2nd, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. As we mentioned yesterday, the federal government is giving the province $6 billion for healthcare over the next 10 years. It's part of the $46 billion package Ottawa is spreading across the country. As Laura Sharpoletti reports, healthcare workers have some thoughts on how the money should be spent.
Saskatchewan will soon get $61 million to address immediate issues, including backed-up emergency rooms and long surgical wait lists. The health minister says that number sounds high, but it's not high enough.
When you're talking about the healthcare budget, when we're averaging about $20 million a day that we're spending in the healthcare budget, this isn't going to move things dramatically.
Still, Saskatchewan physicians say any money is helpful, especially if it helps reevaluate the current primary care system.
I would, in a nice way, blow up the system and redesign it into a team-based care model, which is what the National College of Family Physicians also envisions in their patients' medical home. And so that's really where we want to go with any new money.
Mueller says in order to transition to a team-based care model, which would spread out the workload, the way doctors are paid also needs to be changed.
You do want to have more members on your team that can help provide care to a patient. Many patients have complex care needs, but not necessarily all of those needs need to be addressed by the family physician.
Meanwhile, a medical clinic owner says he has 3 doctors on staff, but 2 might leave. He says money needs to be put into recruiting doctors.
I've seen at least 20 that I know who are gone now, and that's just in the past, let's say 6-7 months. Warman has no doctors except the ones in our clinic. The recruiting has been done specifically and singularly by us alone.
Murray says he's asked to be reimbursed for those recruiting costs, but hasn't gotten an answer from the province. The Saskatchewan Union of Nurses is also weighing in about how the money could be used.
If we don't retain the late to mid-career nurses, it won't matter how many nurses that we bring in, whether it's brand new grads or the nurses coming from the Philippines, they aren't going to stay because they don't have anyone there that's going to mentor or preceptor them in.
Saskatchewan's healthcare minister says the first injection of federal cash will be used to help the government continue its work to address the overloaded system. Any new plans will be revealed when the budget is released later this month. Laura Sharpoletti, CBC News, Regina.
A Saskatoon pharmacist is charged with drug trafficking. The College of Pharmacy Professionals says it suspended the license of 41-year-old Jenna Turnin. Her business, Northumberland Pharmacy, has also been closed. Turnin was arrested earlier this week. Police say a drug bust in January is what led them to investigating her. 3 men were arrested. Meth, pot, and pills were seized. The 700 oxycodone pills from that bust are allegedly connected to this pharmacy. Police say their latest investigation revealed Turnin could not account for 24,000 pills from her pharmacy. Turnin promised to pay $10,000 as a condition of staying out of jail. She's due back in court in April. We've been hearing all week about the City of Regina's Catalyst Committee and all the big-ticket infrastructure items being pondered. One of the recommendations that provoked the largest debate, a new arena. Alexander Kwan has more.
Regina could be getting a new arena, a replacement for the aging home of the Regina Pats. The recommendation in the city's Catalyst Committee report is to put it somewhere downtown. But where? Mayor Sandra Masters appears on board.
I think our downtown needs some investment, and if we're not getting any private investment and haven't for a number of years in some respects in terms of construction, that if the city is going to build something, perhaps then that's when you focus it on downtown.
The committee says an arena will have a large economic impact on Regina's downtown, but some experts disagree.
There are lots of reasons to consider putting an arena in. It's a fun amenity, but hoping to make a bunch of money from it is one of the things you shouldn't count on.
A replacement to the Brandt Center is expected to cost $156 million. But building an arena is the last project recommended by the committee, so it could be a while before construction even begins. And inflation will likely balloon the price tag.
If I had $250 million to improve the downtown, would I spend it on an arena? No. I think that there are other interventions that could have more significant impact on improving the downtown than an arena.
As for where this downtown arena will go, that is still up for debate. A few different sites have been considered. The committee hasn't been specific, citing concerns over land speculation. But renderings in the report give potential clues. The committee's top location is somewhere on 12th Avenue. A rendering shows an arena just north of the Regina Central Library. Another illustration clearly shows buildings clustered around Broad Street, likely this block full of parking lots. Executive Committee wants to get more public feedback before it makes any decisions, but it doesn't have long. Council is supposed to vote on many of the projects, including the arena, on March 22nd. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
The city of Regina will be following the province and removing TikTok from employee cell phones. The Saskatchewan government confirmed yesterday it would remove the app. That followed the federal government, which banned the popular social media platform, citing privacy concerns. The video-focused app is owned by Beijing-based internet tech company ByteDance. Chinese laws allow the country to demand access to user data. Regina City Manager says about 1,600 phones are affected by the decision, and about 5% of those have downloaded TikTok.
So it's a really small number, and then of those, I would say a small number have used TikTok even in the last 24 hours. So, but knowing that the province has done it, knowing that it's been done federally, and that there are some valid concerns around it, we will be removing it from employee cell phones.
When we spoke to her yesterday, employees had yet to receive an email about the ban, but Anderson says the app would be removed within the next day. Several other provinces and cities have also banned TikTok use on staff mobile devices as well. Pride organizations in our province have been struggling. Moose Jaw Pride dissolved last fall due to financial liabilities, and now Out Saskatoon has laid off 9 staff members, including its executive director. Pratush Dayal has more.
Lex Edmonds has been going to Out Saskatoon for 7 years. The Two-Spirit and Transgender University student says it was a safe space while coming out as gender diverse. The peer support groups are also a haven for Edmonds.
Just yesterday, we heard from our facilitator that they were no longer going to have gender revolution meetings for the foreseeable future, and that is very distressing.
The community organization says it's had to take the necessary steps to be able to continue serving the community and regrets the decision to lay off staff.
They're closing their facilities means I no longer have access to that therapy.
Edmonds says it's also devastating for people who used to travel to Out Saskatoon from North Battleford and Regina. Edmonds says the group was an integral support for people experiencing transphobia. They say the community needs answers.
We need that transparency. When they expressed only on Instagram that they're closing, not even on Facebook, on Twitter, it's just shocking to people. We need that information sent to us earlier. We need to know why these layoffs are happening.
CBC reached out to Out Saskatoon multiple times for an interview but received no responses. In a news release, the group says the layoffs are prompted by lack of funding to sustain a major increase in the demand of the services since the pandemic. Queen City Pride says money is a problem for all nonprofits, especially since some pandemic relief programs have stopped.
I do think the government, both provincial and federal, needs to step up and do more. I know there is funds out there to allocate to this. They've allocated funds to stupider stuff, so I'm sure they can figure out this at some point. And I really hope they do.
Other community groups say they are already seeing a rise in calls for services as a result. The UFS Pride Center says it's hearing from people looking for services.
Out Saskatoon is one of our biggest resources that we offer students for off-campus or if people that come in that aren't students, what they're looking for in terms of resources and supports. So now it's just a matter of having to navigate that.
The province says it's focused on meeting the needs of Saskatchewan people through partnerships with community-based organizations to ensure services and programs remain accessible. But it wouldn't say whether that means giving out Saskatoon more money. Pratyush Dayal, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Well, that temperature warm-up that Heather Morrison has been promising us this week has come to fruition. Perfect weather today to slap on some cross-country skis and get some fresh air on the trails around Regina. And if you're worried about disappearing snow, there might be a chance we could see a bit of that too. Heather will have more details in her forecast after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Canada's iconic Joni Mitchell added to her collection of awards last night. The 79-year-old singer-songwriter accepted one of music's highest honors on a night that was anything but blue. Katie Simpson reports.
The way a Joni Mitchell song can make the hairs on your arm stand straight up, even when she's not the one singing it, is a testament to her brilliance. It's why Annie Lennox and so many of the world's most talented artists came to Washington, D.C. for a red carpet gala and concert to honor Joni Mitchell's career as the winner of this year's Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for Popular Song.
Ms. Mitchell, how does tonight feel for you tonight?
It's exciting. It really is.
She may be humble about her impact. Those she paved the way for see it differently.
Now I'm a proud disciple of a really powerful woman that changed the world. She changed the world for singer-songwriters.
What is the impact of Joni Mitchell's musical career?
Everything for me, everything. I wouldn't be standing here as a singer-songwriter if I hadn't heard Joni's music and been aware of her great artistry. I mean, she's exceptional.
Mitchell was in her early 20s when she wrote some of her most popular music, her perspective resonating with audiences in the late 60s and early 70s.
I've looked at clouds from both sides now.
Words that have only become more powerful with the passage of time. Now 79 years old, Mitchell rarely makes public appearances.
I really don't know life at all.
Last year's surprise performance at a folk festival in Rhode Island left her co-stars in tears and the crowd blown away.
Did the world just stop? Oh, Carrie, get out, you can't.
And that is why this celebration in Washington is such a special event.
Don't it always seem to blow?
A chance for artists to try to return the favor.
Summertime. And living is easy.
And leave Joni Mitchell herself in awe of her own music. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
This weather update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Regina, part of the Capital Automotive Group.
And Heather Morrison joins us now with a look at your forecast. I know you are a distance runner. Is this perfect winter running weather?
Well, I'm feeling some chills right now, but I think it's just from seeing the impact that Saskatchewan woman had on the world. That was an amazing pack on Joni Mitchell. But yes, great running weather, except for the fact it's going to be slushy in some areas. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So we have these small systems that are moving across the province here, Sam. That one over the north, that's been there for most of the day. But you can see there, that one that's in the central region, that just moved in this afternoon. And with it, it was bringing this mixed precipitation, which is one of our favorite words in Weatherland, which means, is it snow, is it rain? We don't know. It's gonna be something dumping on you, and it might make the roads a little bit messy. Okay, so that's gonna be moving on. We've got this other system coming in overnight over Swift Current. Again, maybe a little bit of mixed precipitation there. And then tomorrow looking like a fairly clear day, but as you can see, we're gonna have these scattered systems that are moving through. But in terms of snowfall, what we're gonna get for the province, not too much. Here's up in the north, you can see centimeter in Buffalo Narrows centimeters, 4 in Cumberland House. In Saskatoon, we're expecting about 2 centimeters overnight, and in Swift Current 1, that's exactly what my dad would refer to as a skiff of snow. So not too much shoveling to be done. We do have a lot of wind happening in the province. Man, we just cannot get rid of the wind this week, and today was no different. You can see those gusts there in Swift Current up to 50 kilometers per hour. We had gusts in Moose Jaw, Maple Creek, Estevan. We're just a blustery day in the province, and I do have to let you know that's going to be sticking around tomorrow as well, that wind. Temperature-wise, though, this is, you are so correct, such great running weather. So here's what we're going to be waking up to tomorrow morning. So take a look at these temps, Sam. You can see -6 in Saskatoon, -2 in Moose Jaw. We weren't even hitting these at highs throughout the day earlier this week. Here we are. This is what we're waking up to. So today's going to be a slightly warmer day. We can look at this temperature trend here. So the blues mean a little bit colder, the lighter blue, and then the darker green we get, the warmer it is throughout the day. So we cool off tiny bit overnight, and then here we go. This is what we're going to be looking like tomorrow. And these nice temperatures are going to be sticking around into Saturday as well. So let's take a look at the 3-day and 7-day forecast here from Regina. So we've got these mild temperatures. They're here for Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. As you can see, just right when I have skating, not running plans, those colder temperatures are going to be popping in for Regina. And here's Saskatoon here. So -2 tomorrow, -3 on Saturday. I mean, this is very mild. This is about bang on normal for Saskatoon for this time of year. And then on Sunday, as you can see there, -10, and then we go back down into those negative temperatures for the rest of the week, and that's below seasonal. So as you can see, normals for this time of year, -3, a low of -12. So our low is going to be our high when it comes to next week. So this is it. If you do run outside, you want to make sure that you get out tomorrow and on Saturday. So as you can see, Sam, we've got a really, really nice weekend in store, and we definitely want to be taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Heather.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. We've got more news after the break. Welcome back. A Commons committee continues to dig into allegations China interfered in Canada's last 2 federal elections. Today, the Commissioner of Canada's election watchdog testified it is looking into complaints of meddling. Ashley Burke has the latest.
In a rare move, Canada's election watchdog revealed she's actively reviewing complaints of foreign meddling in the past 2 federal elections.
This review is ongoing as I speak to determine whether there's any tangible evidence of wrongdoing.
It comes after the Globe and Mail and Global News reported serious allegations about how Beijing attempted to interfere in the 2019 and 2021 elections. But the RCMP says no investigation is underway.
We did not receive any actionable intelligence that would warrant us to initiate a criminal investigation.
We did not see a spike in foreign interference activities during the 2021 election.
Top public servants who reviewed intelligence during those 2 election campaigns said there wasn't clear evidence of foreign interference that warranted alerting the public.
Panel was briefed about activities that were happening in ridings that were difficult to attribute to foreign interference at the time.
The head of CSIS, who's seen all kinds of classified intelligence, says officials did the right thing.
Based on my information and my experience, for what it's worth, Madam Chair, I would say that I concur with that conclusion.
One senior bureaucrat cautioned MPs about recent media reports based on leaked intelligence.
Intelligence is not truth. It's not, and it is often inaccurate or partial or incomplete or, in fact, designed to throw us off our track.
Morrison warned intelligence leaked out of context could hurt national security.
There are glaring historical examples, Madam Chair, even when that picture finally emerges of the intel being just plainly wrong. The war in Iraq comes to mind.
Amid all of this, the opposition is continuing to call on the federal government to launch a public inquiry. One Liberal MP today said that he's grappling with whether or not to support an inquiry because he says most of the information is classified and therefore impossible to make public. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
And Heather is back with one last look at your weather. Will spikes be necessary on our shoes over the next couple of days?
It's entirely possible. You know, we're just going to jump over and below that freezing mark for the next 2 days here. Let's take a look at what's happening tonight in Regina. I have to say, it's a great day to be a weather person. Here's your midnight temperature, -3, just a little bit of wind and a chance of flurries. You might get a little bit of that snow that's going to hit the Swift Current area. -7 to wake up to in the morning, and just warming up throughout the day. It doesn't look like you're going to get above the freezing mark tomorrow in Regina, but -4, not so bad for a winter day. In Saskatoon tonight, -5 overnight, and it looks like we may get a little bit of snow there as well. -8 in the morning with the wind chill feeling like -15. So you're still going to need a scarf as you walk to work or get in your car in the morning, but then warming up to just a really nice, beautiful winter day, Sam.
All right. Thanks, Heather.
You're welcome.
And before we leave you tonight, a heartwarming story out of Prince Edward Island. Sports are meant to unite us, and nowhere is that taken more seriously than by the athletes at Canada's Winter Games, which does wrap up this coming weekend. Nancy Russell has more.
This is a practice session for these sit-ski competitors from Team BC. Their equipment was late to arrive, so their competition was postponed for a day. The Paranordic standing competitors have already completed their first races at these games, including Denise Daw.
Oh my gosh, it's been actually life-changing, you know. I was introduced to Paranordic as a sport just a little over a year ago, and it's completely changed the way I view myself, the way I view my disability. Honestly, for the longest time, my disability was something that I would hide from people. I have symbrachdactyly, which means I'm missing a lot of my fingers, and I would always put my hand in a pocket or something. And now, having an opportunity like this has allowed me to actually embrace that and see it as a strength.
This competitor from Team Manitoba is taking part in his third Canada Games. He won a bronze medal in this race with the help of his guide.
He's played a really crucial part in my skiing, and I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing without him.
Graham Nishikawa is here at the Canada Games as a national development para-coach. He was an able-bodied skier who went on to guide Canada's Brian McKeever at the Paralympics and won multiple gold medals.
Through events like this at Canada Games, having the inclusion of para here is just so important for everyone to see it and become normal. Just seeing our para athletes just become part of the team.
This is where Mark Arendz first tried Paranordic sports, a journey that has taken him to the top of the medal podium at the Paralympics. He hopes having Paranordic events at the Canada Games will inspire others.
I hope it's eye-opening. I hope that we can showcase that, anyone can get out onto the snow once the infrastructure's there and the willpower just to say, hey, this is something new and they can try it.
There are para-alpine events going on at Crab Mountain this week, and there are Special Olympians participating in figure skating.
Yeah, I think it's just really important to be included. You know, that's all anybody wants, is to have inclusion in their community and in sport. And so being part of this kind of major event, which is taking over the island, as you can see from the last week and a half that we've been here doing this, and they're part of something big and something special, I think it's just really important that all ability levels get that opportunity to shine.
More athletes of all abilities will get the opportunity to shine. Competition continues here at Mark Arendz Provincial Ski Park for the rest of the week. Nancy Russell, CBC News, Brookvale.
And that is it for us tonight. For news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/Sask or /Saskatoon, or subscribe to CBC Saskatchewan's YouTube channel. Natasha Lipney and Heather Morrison will be back with more local news and weather tonight at 11. Thanks for watching, and have a great night.